John Cameron Fogerty is an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Together with Doug Clifford, Stu Cook, and his brother Tom Fogerty, he founded the band Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, for which he was the lead singer, lead guitarist, and principal songwriter. CCR had 9 top 10 singles and 8 gold albums between 1968 and 1972, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993. Since CCR parted ways in 1972, Fogerty has had a successful solo career, which continues. He was listed on Rolling Stone magazine's list of 100 greatest songwriters at No. 40, and the list of 100 greatest singers at No. 72. His songs include Proud Mary, Bad Moon Rising, Fortunate Son, Green River, Down on the Corner, Who'll Stop the Rain, Centerfield, The Old Man Down the Road, and Rockin' All Over the World. Fogerty was born in Berkeley, California, and grew up in El Cerrito, California, the third of 5 boys born to Galen Robert and Edith Lucille Lytle Fogerty. His father was born in Iowa, and worked as a linotype operator for the Berkeley Gazette in California. Lucille Fogerty taught 2nd grade and was from Great Falls, Montana. John first attended a Catholic school, the School of the Madeleine, in Berkeley, California. In his memoir, Fortunate Son, Fogerty was critical of the school, saying when in class he was not permitted to go to the bathroom when he asked, and frequently wet himself and was forced to sit in his wet clothing. After 1 year, Fogerty enrolled in nearby Harding Grammar School. In his book, he stated that his parents were alcoholics and that they divorced when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade. He later attended St. Mary's High School, then transferred to El Cerrito High School, where he met the other future members of CCR and took guitar lessons from Berkeley Folk Festival creator/producer Barry Olivier. Fogerty's older brother Tom was a guitarist and bandmate in the group that eventually became CCR. Fogerty spent summer vacations at Putah Creek, near Winters, California, which became the subject of the CCR song Green River. While in junior high school in 1959, Fogerty formed a cover band with bassist Stu Cook and drummer Doug Clifford called the Blue Velvets. The band was inspired by rock and roll pioneers, especially Little Richard and Bo Diddley. Later, Fogerty's brother Tom joined the group. In 1964, the band signed with Fantasy Records, which, without the band's knowledge or approval, changed the band's name from the Blue Velvets to the Gollywogs. This group recorded 7 singles that were not commercially successful. Fogerty received his draft notice for military service during the Vietnam War in 1966. The same day he received the notice, he went to a local United States Army Reserve recruiter, who signed him up immediately for training as a supply clerk. Fogerty believes the recruiter dated the paperwork to take effect before the draft letter arrived. During his time in the Army Reserve, Fogerty attended training at Fort Liberty, then Fort Bragg, Fort Knox, and Fort Gregg Adams. He completed his active duty for training in July 1967, then served as a part-time reservist until being discharged in 1968. After Fogerty's military service, the Gollywogs resumed playing, releasing an album in late 1967. In 1968, they changed their name to Creedence Clearwater Revival, with John Fogerty taking his brother's place as lead singer. The band released their eponymous debut album and also had their first hit single, Susie Q. Many other hit singles and albums followed, beginning with Proud Mary and the album Bayou Country. Fogerty, as writer of the songs for the band as well as lead singer and lead guitarist, felt that his musical opinions should count for more than those of the others, leading to resentments within the band. These internal rifts, and Tom's feeling that he was being taken for granted, caused Tom to leave the group in January 1971. The 2 other group members, bassist Cook and drummer Clifford, wanted a greater role in the band's future. Fogerty, in an attempt to keep things together, insisted Cook and Clifford share equal songwriting and vocal time on what became the band's final album, Mardi Gras, released in April 1972, which included the band's last 2 singles, the 1971 hit Sweet Hitchhiker and Someday Never Comes, which made it into the Billboard Top 20. Cook and Clifford told Fogerty that the fans would not accept Mardi Gras as a CCR LP, but Fogerty told them, "My voice is a unique instrument, and I will not lend it to your songs." According to the 2 bandmates, Fogerty gave them an ultimatum: either they would do it or Fogerty would quit immediately. They accepted Fogerty's ultimatum. The album received poor reviews, but was a commercial success, peaking at number 12 and achieving gold record status, though it generated weaker sales than previous albums. The group disbanded shortly after the album was released. The only reunion of all 4 original members was at Tom Fogerty's wedding in 1980. Fogerty, Clifford, and Cook played a 45-minute set at their 20th El Cerrito High School class reunion in 1983, and Fogerty and Clifford were reunited again for a brief set at their 25th class reunion. Even early in his career, Fogerty's attitude toward music was serious, practiced, even perfectionistic. He drilled his bandmates in rehearsal after rehearsal, insisting that his songs be performed his way. He was known for not indulging in drugs, and although John struggled with alcohol later in life, he had only contempt for musicians whose habits interfered with their performances. "Not in my band," he writes in his memoir, Fortunate Son. "You dare not be stoned playing music around me. When you're working, you're supposed to be working." As CCR was coming to an end, Fogerty began working on a solo album of country and western covers, on which he produced, arranged, and played all of the instruments. Despite the solo nature of the recordings, however, Fogerty elected to credit the album to the Blue Ridge Rangers, a band of which he was the only member. The eponymous The Blue Ridge Rangers was released in 1973. It spun off the top 20 hit Jambalaya, as well as a lesser hit in Hearts of Stone. Fogerty, still using the Blue Ridge Rangers name, then released a self-penned rock and roll single, You Don't Owe Me BW Back in the Hills, Fantasy F710. It was a commercial flop, failing to make the US Billboard Hot 100, though You Don't Owe Me was a minor hit in Canada, reaching No. 79. Fogerty thereafter abandoned the Blue Ridge Rangers identity, and released all his subsequent work under his own name. In early 1974, Fogerty released Comin' Down the Road backed with the instrumental Ricochet. His first official solo album, John Fogerty, was released in 1975. Sales were slim and legal problems delayed a follow-up, though it yielded Rockin' All Over the World, a No. 27 hit for Fogerty in the United States. In 1977, the British rock band Status Quo recorded their version of Rockin' All Over the World, which became a huge hit and made the song world famous. Status Quo played it at the opening of the 1985 Live Aid concert. In 1976, Fogerty finished an album called Hoodoo. A single, You Got the Magic Back with Evil Thing, preceded the album's release, but it performed poorly. The album, for which covers had already been printed, was rejected by Asylum Records a few weeks before its scheduled release, and Fogerty agreed that it was not up to his usual high standards. Fogerty told Asylum Records to destroy the master tapes for Hoodoo sometime in the 1980s. After a hiatus of several years from the music industry, Fogerty's solo career re-emerged with 1985 Centerfield, his first album for Warner Brothers Records, which had taken co-ownership of Asylum's contract with Fogerty. Centerfield went to the top of the charts and included a top 10 hit in The Old Man Down the Road. The title track is frequently played on classic rock radio and at baseball games to this day, but the album led to legal problems for Fogerty. Well, Tom Fogerty, who played and sang in the 1960s rock group Creedence Clearwater Revival with his better-known brother John, has died of complications from tuberculosis, a record company spokeswoman said. He was 48. Well guys, what are your thoughts? Do tell us. Thanks for watching.